yëpp lay fay.
sant yàlla.
looy xaar utal Wave nga scan nga fay nag doo ci yokku dara.
Jar Oil, the company, have filling stations across the country, and our rates are relatively cheaper than anyone else across the country. Jar Oil is the biggest producer and distributor of cement in the country with the most competitive prices in the market.
In the Gambia, we all move to different paces. Time is money, convenience is power, and now both are in your hands. No more long lines, no more late payments, no more missed chances. Not anymore. Because now the Gambia has its own super app, Zap. One app, one tap, endless convenience. Send money instantly, pay your bills in seconds, shop without borders, pay your rides, order your meal, buy your ticket, deposit and withdraw money for absolutely free. No extra charges, no hidden fees, only on Zap Super App. This is not just convenience. This is confidence. This is the future in your hands. And the best part, Zap is born right here. Built for us, designed for every Gambian home, every Gambian dream. So don't wait in the past. Step into the future. Download Zap today on App Store and Play Store and enjoy endless free services. Call us today on our toll-free number 1666 or on 260-0001. Zap. All in one. All for you. Tap in. Zap in.
Seedy Keita is our guest on Coffee Time with Peter Gomez today, Tuesday, the 2nd of December 2025. We're going to keep him here for no more than 30 additional minutes. So if you have a question for him, start sending the question to me on either 7711599 or 8646464. Hi, Uncle Peter. Can you please remind or ask the Honorable Minister why it is still, why police officers are still getting $250 only as house rent? $250?
No, I have not seen any evidence of that. But if it does exist, I will ask the concerned officer to come to our ministry directly, and we'll look into that, because that's not correct. The wage increase, everybody has their pay, but sometimes you can have processing errors in a system. But we call on any officer that is a subject of this type of thing to either go to the accounts department at the police or come to the ministry directly. We will look into it.
Okay. Hi, Uncle Peter. Good morning to you.
Yes.
Can you please ask the Honorable Minister for me, how much is the allowance of an MP?
Well,
is that something you can discuss?
Well, I told you their financial affairs are independent, but and they have range of allowances, and I cannot comment. I don't have a working dictionary, or I don't have the capability to know what what allowances they do have. No, I know they have allowances, but how much and what type, I don't keep stock of that.
Good morning, Uncle Peter. Please ask the Minister about our currency, the dalasi. Why can't they renew Sadauda Keraba Jawara money back to the Gambians? I suppose it's
the pictures,
the image on a
well,
currency.
That's this thought process. I think the governor is hearing that they are in charge of currency design, and if it is a idea worth taking, I'm sure he'll take that on board.
Hi, Uncle Peter.
Yes.
Can the minister tell us about any government project in this country that is financed 100% by the taxpayers, and can he please name the project or projects?
Well, Hakalan Road is one.
100%?
100%
locally financed.
No
Kiang
loans,
West, no grants.
Government financed. Kabada Road, government financed. These are large transactions. I think the Hakalan Road is it's about 84 kilometers and runs into a couple of hundreds of millions.
Hi, Uncle Peter. Just to seize the opportunity to thank Mr. Keita for his diplomacy. However, I categorically disagree with him on the health system's improvement. For example, there are still prescriptions presented to patients for outside purchase in pharmacies. would he call that improvement?
Well, you see,
It's
prescription is one aspect of the medical care. That's obvious. It's not, if the fact that, and I mean, in the interest of the general public, we're all using the public's medical facilities. And we can say some operations are now done in these countries, in this country, that could not have been done before. I'm a living witness to it. So while not every aspect of the sector is perfect, and prescription is one area that is a work in progress, we've not identified that as a government, but there's also no free medical care anywhere. So we hear that, but the infrastructure, the healthcare, number of healthcare workers, the access to rapid evacuation through ambulances are all in the intervention in the healthcare. So yes, prescription might be a shortcoming, but other aspects are improving. There is a huge facility being developed at Farato, and so many major health centers are built around the country. The president has inaugurated about 5 of them, and those 5 were funded from domestic resources. RVTH has been given a facelift. Today, every bed in the RVTH has an oxygen supply from the wall, not an oxygen tank. I'm a living witness to those things, and the healthcare workers are doing their fantastic effort to improve the healthcare delivery. So the fact that a segment of that is not being fulfilled like a prescription doesn't mean that everything is bad. I'm not being diplomatic. I'm just speaking as I know it. It's not like trying to sugarcoat things, but what I'm saying, particularly the healthcare, I have been interacting with the sector directly from personal experience in the last week. And I must congratulate the minister and the president for that's my own experience, not because I'm a minister, because some of the surgeries being done now would not have been able to be done here. And when I went into the wards myself and I saw oxygen piping, every bed with an oxygen pipe, I was intrigued. Because don't forget, I went through COVID here when I came. Oh. Yes, and oxygen bottles were like life-changing. If you don't have, you literally sentenced to death. And it was so difficult to get. So I put myself and said, well, this is a huge improvement. So that's what I experienced. It's not perfect, but it's still a work in progress. Yes.
Hello, Peter. Minister Keita is doing a good job by explaining. Politicians are undermining the government, and he is doing a good job to explain. Good morning, Peter. The minister should acknowledge that the Gambian farmers are unjustly and unfairly robbed of their produce with stagnant prices for 3 years in a row. He knows that prices of commodities skyrocket daily, and the government doesn't seem to have a solution to it. Their plight should have been resolved in the agriculture budget.
Well, I think it's just that what is good enough. It's not that we are not doing anything. We told you we subsidize 18,000 per metric ton. If there was no subsidy, but now even let them just walk across the country, the neighboring countries. What is the producer price for a ton of groundnut? We are not.
Apparently, it's equivalent to what we are giving.
Exactly.
I
saw, so you some of these things are verifiable. What our actions are. If, for example, within the context in our ECOS system, we are paying less when others are paying more. You can say you're all going to the same market, but if we're almost paying the same price with our neighbor, I think that shows rationally that, well, that's what can be entertained at that time. I can assure every citizen, whenever we have the fiscal space, the president is determined to ensure that the well-being of farmers is taken on board.
Is there a likelihood that amid the uproar,
well,
the price will be revised upwards, however slightly?
One thing I know, I cannot guarantee, but I know the president is a listening president. I remember many reversals that he has done when he deems it's in public interest.
Okay.
That I know.
So
I'm a witness to it.
So you expect a call?
I cannot say, but I know he's a listening president.
Come over.
Whether he does it or not, but in fact, I remember. I mean, he's a listening president, and if he believes it's doable, can be done, and it's in public interest, I wouldn't second guess.
Well, he may believe it's doable, but then you could look at your budget and say, Mr. President, it's not doable according to this document which guides our spending for 2026.
Well, that's what I mean. It depends.
Okay.
Yes.
Hi, Uncle Peter. I kindly ask the Minister, what are the key growth-driving sectors targeted in the 2026 budget, and how will the government support the private sector, or rather private sector development to ensure these sectors deliver jobs and increased
certainly, the key growth drivers are out there. We have the infrastructure, we have the energy, we have the construction, we have the tourism. These are all growth drivers that we expect to feature prominently in the next year's budget.
Okay.
Yes.
Hi, Peter. Can you tell the Minister that what are they planning for the youths? Because too many youths are migrating because of hopelessness.
Well, migration is a phenomenon that has been as long as mankind exists. And given, what opportunity sets are there, we have the youth set that is of a first class of its own, giving unique opportunity to Gambians to train in every skills that they could. And I think even while I encourage people, I would not encourage Gambians to just go out there without having the skills. Let them invest in themselves. If you're that hungry for success in life to the point you will take that probability over your life to the extent of going back way, invest. If you're in school, diligently be a student, work hard, and results always come out. So, but I found it very difficult to understand. You're so out there hungry for success to the point you want to take the perilous journey. Meanwhile, the very essentials that you should have done, like in terms of self-culture, investment in education, self-discipline, developing your capabilities. Today, you have the USET, you have the School of Nursing, you have a lot of tertiary training institutions. Build the skills, invest in yourself. And those are there. Higher education, like I told you, it's not everybody that will be academic, but of course, if you are skill-based, that's why the higher education has been shifted towards giving alternative route to livelihoods through training in skills. The USET is there, the Shanghai initiative is there under the Ministry of Youth and Sports, and a lot of investment is done to address the youth segment of the population. In fact, what we have in the budget alone is not what we are allocating to the sector. The sector is a beneficiary of other funds to invest in the youths and the well-being of the youths. Of course, government does not come and give every citizen money in your pocket. You have to participate or partake in an economic activity to realize the government activities. So that's what I can say on that.
Hi, Uncle Peter. Please tell the Minister, or rather ask the Minister, why this government is using taxpayers' money for roads only when Gambians are crying for survival.
Well, I don't know. That's maybe that feature prominently. But that's not, the budget is not all about roads. Our investment is not only about roads. We're investing in every sector. I think what people do not understand about road construction, of course, as they say, roads, you don't eat roads. But it is through roads that the food that you eat is carried to your table.
Who said you don't eat roads?
That's what people say. I can't get there. But you see, if you don't have roads, the cost of bringing the produce from the farm to your table will go up. And indirectly, that will increase the prices. So roads are like the artery in any ecosystem, like the arteries of your body. They allow the blood to flow. So roads are the artery of the economic system. They allow transactions to go seamlessly and in the least cost method. So roads are very, very important. I think one of the things that has set back the economic development is the low investment in infrastructure space. I think time will prove us right. In the next few years, people just look at the real estate that has picked up on the Baton Harding Highway. Just that. Just that.
Lots of building projects.
Exactly. Without that road, would that have those constructions ever taken place before? Because those are the positive spin-offs that comes with the road investment. Today, I have seen, even if you take the Makumbaya-Lameng road, you'll see whenever a new road has come into, you'll see very good structures coming up along those road networks. So definitely, government is not only spending on roads, it's spending on every segment of society to improve the well-being of the citizens.
Okay, Seedy, I wouldn't like to end this conversation without talking about an important nomination for you. I'm trying to, African Government Minister of the Year. This is by African Leadership Persons of the Year. Why do you think you were nominated?
Well,
they must have sent you details.
No, absolutely no. I wasn't contacted, and I was surprised, as surprised as you are. And I think my daughter sent it out to me and said, "Daddy, this." I said, "Hey, what's this?" So I was so intrigued by the nomination. I didn't contribute to it. I don't know what metrics they use. I see myself and with my colleague from Sierra Leone, Sheku.
Oh, okay.
He's also in the front running. But I mean, I think this is not as important as what I do to improve the lives of Gambians. This, while it's out there in the public space, but for me,
I should say the nomination is done by African Leadership Magazine.
Yes, yeah. I don't know, because we go to fora, we travel out, we engage with partners, we participate in debates, discussions. I don't know what formula they use to identify. I think 5 of us were in this. And my daughter said, "Daddy, did you see this?" I said, "Well, I didn't know about it." So, of course, I did, upon seeing it, send it to some of my friends and say, "Here it is." And I have no idea what is the thought process behind it. But I'm humbled by it, and I think it is a signal that we are on the right trajectory. And this would not have been made possible without the support of His Excellency the President, because as a finance minister, you are limited by the matching orders you receive from your president. And His Excellency has given us ample attitude to operate in the space that we believe is the right trajectory to take the work forward.
And as we speak, you also hold the chairmanship of
the African Caucus.
Yes, African Finance Minister. So tell us about that and how busy 2026 might be for you and the country.
Certainly. I think it's a bonus for the country that Gambia, by extension, I became the chair of the African Caucus. This is a group of the African finance ministers and the central bank governors that engage with the World Bank and IMF, and is the mouthpiece. So having been the chair, it will mean that we will host the African finance ministers and central bank governors sometime towards June of next year to look at the theme that we believe is central to Africa's development. And I will be the...
How much influence will you have in, coming up eventually with the theme?
As the chair, I have the authority to call the theme that I believe are very pertinent to our economic development.
Have you already started thinking
yes, certainly. We're putting up a number of points. One area we are very dear, but seriously thinking about is the impact of the market on Africa's economic development. Because as you see, if you look at the development evolution, there is very limited presence of market. In the West, if there's always a market for something. There's the insurance market, there's the financial market. In the West, there is the market for literally everything. So government is there to regulate, private sector run the economy, and the market is the interface between the two. Unfortunately, in Africa, we have government and society. If it doesn't work, society blames government. Government blames society. Meanwhile, the arbitral role of the market as an efficient allocator of resource is absent. If your house is burned down in the West, you cry but limited, because you know your insurance company will replace your house. But here, if your house burned down, you say, oh, government should help me. You see, I'm like this. I can't build my house. So we literally thinking about how to utilize the market, the financial market, the insurance market, the debt market, to how Africa, like for example, here in Africa, it takes you the longest to build your house. Maybe by the time you go into your house, you're almost retiring. In the West, as young as 20, 25, you can take a mortgage. You live in your house that you own, you pay gradually because of the presence of a mortgage market. So this is one very important thing that we're thinking about, could be a topic. And what it means is, as the chair, you are the mouthpiece of the rest of the African ministers, and you will carry that message. And when the World Bank and IMF meetings are being held, you will be sitting next to the presidents of IMF and the World Bank and be the message bearer for the rest of the continent. And I'm humbled by the responsibility. I count on the support and prayers of every Gambian. And of course, I always defer back to the president for the leadership and support he provides. So we'll be having that, and Gambia will be also receiving the executive director of the World Bank. Yes, he's visiting, and soon after that, the executive director of African Development Bank is also following. And in March, we will be having the deputy managing director of the IMF coming for a visit to the country, and there'll be a summit, a seminar on climate financing. So these are some of our external engagements.
Oh, fantastic.
Yes,
Congratulations.
Thank you, thank you.
And possibly the toughest question of the morning.
Yes.
When will the president appoint a substantive Minister of Trade, Regional Integration?
Well, I'm the wrong person to be asked.
And employment. It's what, 2 months of waiting? I know there was a time when you oversaw the ministry for what, 5 months?
Yeah, about that. About that. Yeah, I was a trade minister, then I was moved to finance, and I oversaw it for some time. And of course, it's vacant now, but His Excellency is aware of the vacancy. There's a substantive minister overseeing the ministry, and I'm sure he'll appoint the person right for the job very soon.
Before the end of the week?
I can't comment on that. I'm not the president, unfortunately.
Well, when you meet him, say, I'm asking.
Well, he knows, and I'll pass the message. I'll pass the message.
Seedy,
yes.
Thank you so very much.
No, but I think I should also have some clarifications I want to do.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, because like, for example, one area is the financial reporting, like the presentation of the audited accounts of government. When we released the government accounts of 2021, 22, 23 to the floor of the National Assembly, that's a lot of noise. And I always wonder, this was the accounts, but the discussion centered around the audit opinion. And we want to just say we are aware of those. First of all, there is progress, because for the longest time we have been having a lot of arrears in the production with annual accounts of the government. So we have now cleared almost all the backlog, 2021, 20. There were times when the backlog was more than even 5 years. Today, 2021, 22, 23 are all laid before the National Assembly, and we are on course to conclude the 2024 before the end of December. But what's very important in terms of the process is that when the national accounts are laid, it's not fait accompli at that stage. That's when the work starts of verification. When the National Assembly receives the public accounts, then it will go to the FPAC committee. That's when the FPAC committee will consult with the sectors, with the Auditor General. And it is the determination of the FPAC after that interaction with the sectors and the Auditor General that becomes the final resolution on those accounts. So all the discussions that are out there are a bit premature. Of course, they are out there. These are audit findings, but those findings will be further validated through the interaction of the FPAC with the Auditor General and the sector concerned. And then a resolution will emanate from FPAC. So why I want to mention this particularly is the progress we've received, we've realized in clearing the backlog of public financial reporting of the country, and we are on course to clear the rest of the backlog. In fact, the 2024 accounts are almost ready. So that's one thing I wanted to clarify. And I can't help but reference some of the observations that I do pick up. I saw off late there was a comment in the social media, particularly about what is allocated and appropriated by the National Assembly, any spending beyond that being illegal. I think that's out of line. Because while the spending appropriation is an act of the National Assembly and de facto a law to guide the spending of that year, there is an overarching legal framework that is called the Public Finance Act. And the Public Finance Act is a very encompassing act as far as financial management of the country is concerned. And it stipulates that this act, apart from the Constitution, is the most relevant law as far as financial matters of the state are concerned. And that act provides scope for the ministry or the minister to provide, if exigencies happen or needs arises, to allocate resources outside what was budgeted. So I did see that in the public domain. I felt I should correct that. And I would encourage people to ask. Our doors are open. If you don't know, ask. And you don't need to visit the ministry. Just because it's a public office, you should write formally to us and we'll reply to you formally. Those are some of the clarifications I wanted to make.
Thank you very much.
Thank
you.
you.
It's a very important point to end the program on.
Thank you.
That's Seedy Keita. He's the Minister of Finance and Economic Affairs. He's been with us for the past 2 hours, so we have to release him now so that he goes and finishes his day.
Santa Yala.
Looy xaar utal Wave nga scan nga fay nag doo ci yokku dara.
Gov't Oil, the company, have filling stations across the country, and our rates are relatively cheaper than anyone else across the country. Gov't Oil is the biggest producer and distributor of cement in the country with the most competitive prices in the market.
In the Gambia, we all move to different paces. Time is money, convenience is power, and now both are in your hands. No more long lines, no more late payments, no more missed chances, not anymore. Because now the Gambia has its own super app, Zap. One app, one tap, endless convenience. Send money instantly, pay your bills in seconds, shop without borders, pay your rides, order your meal, buy your ticket, deposit and withdraw money for absolutely free. No extra charges, no hidden fees, only on Zap Super App. This is not just convenience. This is confidence. This is the future in your hands. And the best part, Zap is born right here. Built for us, designed for every Gambian home, every Gambian dream. So don't wait in the past. Step into the future. Download Zap today on App Store and Play Store and enjoy endless free services. Call us today on our toll-free number 1666 or on 260-0001. Zap. All in one. All for you. Tap in. Zap in.